We finally hit a milestone in this channel. Well, it seems that we've been hitting milestones in the past few weeks, but nevertheless, I finally secured a watch that I wanted for so long. It's a little grail, if you want to call it that way, but this one is a little bit more on the sentimental side than the value that most people would see in this watch. But there's no better way for us to start with this video than to have the previous owner talk about this watch, and then we'll finally discuss why this is very special.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you who are watching Jason's video. This is Mr. Zelos, aka the Celine Driver. The time has come to say goodbye to a favorite watch of mine. I've had this watch for many, many years. I've enjoyed wearing it, but it is time to move my Seiko Pogue on. It is currently doing a video of it. You're watching the video right now. I've had it for quite a while. I've enjoyed it. Now it's time to move it on to Jason and let him enjoy it. So, thank you, Jason, for buying the watch from me. Thank you to my Pogue for giving me many years of enjoyment. And thank you all in the audience of this video for supporting both myself, the Celine Driver, or Mr. Zelos if you prefer, and to Jason at Design Atelier. Have a good day.
And it is a good day, as this really brightens up any situation with its colorful presentation and interesting talking points. This legendary chronograph blazed the trail for future watches after it, as part of an arms race to make the first automatic chronograph between three watch factions. Even today, the case design has a timeless aspect that you can virtually install this on any strap setup. On a NATO, it feels casual yet capable. The streamlined case makes it easy to look at while keeping its compact wearability. You can definitely feel it once you slap it on your wrist. This 46mm lug distance just sits well with this fabric strap with virtually no overhang even on pale 6-inch wrists. I received this beauty on a bracelet, but I felt this will feel more at home on a racing strap. This 19mm perforated leather band transforms this watch in the speed timer it was meant to be. I don't know where this trend originated, but whenever you see gloved hands on steering wheels, you always imagine them adorned with chronos on punctured straps like these. Working with this watch requires some driving lessons as well. The time adjustment is the same. Pull the crown and adjust the hours and minutes. Fair warning, this crown is not lumberjack friendly. The small crown may be difficult for some to grip. Another unusual feature is the date change mechanism. To change the date, you'll actually need to push on the crown hard to change both the day and date. As you push, you can actually feel the two gears engage. You can do a soft push to change just the date. Beware, you'll have to cycle through the pushing if you miss any of the two. The chronograph pusher is still as crisp to activate as it was back in 1969. What's cool about this watch is that you can turn the crown to actually use the inner bezel as a lap marker. True to its name, now you can track speed and time in various stages. Many of these calibers survive to this day, which is a testament to Seiko's build quality. What's more, you can still get great examples of these at under $500. Looking in closer, the Pepsi bezel and orange dial is the signature of the 6002 model that Colonel William Pogue popularized. That raised chamfer bezel has this beautiful polished sides that matches the case. The crown sits flush to the side, making it the streamlined headache of kielbasa fingers. This is likely the biggest downside of this watch, as it requires some nail wedging to operate. But hey, if women have shoe heels to live with, we men have small crowns of our own. The case back is the expected solid cap, and I wonder if there's a custom display crystal that I can upgrade this with. This vintage sample is a late 1970s model, as it has the 6030 dial marker but without the proof or resist branding. It's likely that this is an aftermarket dial as well by just looking at the loose condition. Seiko really went the extra mile here with the applied markers and Seiko logo. This is a gorgeous detail that matches well with the hands and framed windows. I'm just enamored with this radial finish on the subdial that's juxtaposed against the sunburst treatment of the rest of the surface. Equally pleasing is the polished day and date window that's also angular for visual interest. From this close, you can see the subtle brushing on the day aperture. Really cool. Light play is just amazing for this vintage piece, making this a must-have for land-loving pirates like me. Without any light though, the loom will still work on this cobbled-up piece. Cobbled up, you say? Well, because this is a Franken watch with its aftermarket dial and non-matching bezel. But that's fine with me, because sometimes collecting things has little to do about the things, but more to do with why we collect them. I asked if it's possible to build a watch channel without handling the watch itself. Dane, Mr. Zelos, was the first to provide his insight. I viewed it as a great advice and even a challenge. And thus, over 300 videos later, we have come full circle. I've come to accept that it's possible to review watches just by looking at them, but it's always best to experience them in your very wrist. Owning a copy of the first watch that went to space is definitely reason enough to add this to any collection, especially when it's worth even less than a full metal G-Shock. But owning a watch from someone who's partly responsible in this channel's creation is a privilege to keep for the next generation. And that's the story, the short story between me and Mr. Zelos, and actually how this channel got started. And this Seiko Pogue represents that kind of connection that we now have, because we're not just enthusiasts that love watches, but also friends across the sea. So the next milestone will be to meet Mr. Zelos, wherever it may be here in Aruba or where he lives. But for sure, once that happens, you'll be there to see it. And this also is not the end of the story for this particular Seiko Pogue. This will actually go into some sort of transformation, so watch out for that next video in the next couple of weeks.